Whispers in the Red Pavilion. Shen Yuan returned to his ancestral estate on a rain-soaked evening in the 5th lunar month. The Shen family mansion had once housed 3 generations, dozens of servants, and more stories than the imperial court. But now, it stood near abandoned, cloaked in vines and moss. Only the Red Pavilion remained untouched by time, standing silent at the estate's eastern edge. Yuan hadn't seen the place in 10 years. His father's death had summoned him back, and with it, a cascade of memories. Some faint, others clawing at the edge of consciousness like roots breaking through soil. The air smelled of wet wood and decay. An old woman, the only remaining servant, met him by the gate. Her eyes were milky with age. "Young master," she bowed. "Welcome home." Yuan gave a stiff nod. "I won't be staying long." The woman tilted her head. "The pavilion has been waiting." He paused. "What did you say?" But she only smiled and shuffled away. That night, the rain ceased, and the whispers began. In his childhood room, the walls still bore faint impressions of once bright paintings. His bed, though freshly made, creaked like it remembered him too well. Just before sleep claimed him, he heard it. A girl's voice, faint like silk against stone, laughing, calling. "Yuan!" He bolted upright. The corridor outside was silent, but as he approached the eastern wing, a cold wind kissed his cheek. The Red Pavilion. It had once been sealed, nailed shut after a fire no one talked about. But tonight, the doors stood ajar. Inside, everything was preserved. Furniture wrapped in linen, floor swept, incense holder empty, but polished. At the far end of the room, beside a tall mirror with a cracked frame, lay a diary. And behind the mirror, butterflies. Hundreds. Wings pinned like memories. He opened the book. "They say I died, but I'm still here, watching him forget me again." First entry, undated. Yuan stared. His breath fogged the mirror. For a heartbeat, the reflection didn't match. Over the next few days, the lines between real and remembered began to blur. He asked the servant about the pavilion. She hesitated. There was once a girl, but her name was struck from the records. The master ordered it. My sister? Perhaps. Perhaps not. But she spoke to things that weren't there. Yuan spent hours in the pavilion, flipping through the diary. Each night, new entries appeared, pages he didn't remember reading, ink still fresh. Yuan came again today. He still doesn't remember the red thread. He thinks he left, but he never did. One night, he found a note tucked under the diary. A child's drawing. 2 figures holding hands. A red string connecting their wrists. Below, scrawled letters. Big Brother plus me. His hands trembled. He rushed to the family altar, searching for ancestral records. Her name was gone. Entire pages were torn from the genealogy scroll. Then came the dreams. In them, he was no longer himself. He wore red robes. He walked halls lit with lanterns, hearing music from nowhere. He whispered names he didn't recognize. He woke to find ash on his fingertips, a comb beneath his pillow. Each time he resolved to leave, the house gave him reason to stay. The gardener arrived one day, a hunched man with one eye. "I remember you," the man said. "You knew my father?" "Number you." "You mean, when I was a boy?" The man frowned. "You were never a boy." That night, Yuan found a second diary in the pavilion. This one was older, written in his father's hand. "The girl has returned. I see her shadow at the window. The servants whisper again. I burned her portrait, but still she lingers. She was never real. That's what they told me. But I remember her laughter. I remember her name. No name followed. Then one night, as lightning split the sky, Yuan saw her. She stood in the garden, barefoot, beneath the lantern tree. Hair down, eyes wide. She smiled as if nothing had changed. He ran out, soaked to the bone, but she was gone. In her place, a red ribbon tied to a branch. He followed it back to the pavilion, and on the mirror, written in breath, "Welcome back." He touched the glass. It was cold, too cold for summer. Behind him, the diary fell open on its own. A new entry. He sees me now, but he still thinks he's awake. Yuan stumbled back, the edges of the room beginning to pulse, distort. The mirror shimmered, not like glass, but like water. And in its depths, he saw flashes. A girl, maybe 13, locked in the pavilion, scratching on walls, crying out names. His name. Then silence. Then fire. The next morning, Yuan awoke in the pavilion with no memory of how he'd gotten there. The ribbon still clung to his wrist. He walked the estate grounds aimlessly, trying to recall if the girl had ever truly existed. At the village temple, he asked the old priest about his family. The priest grew pale. "Leave that place," he said. "Some memories are meant to be forgotten." Was there a girl? A sister? The priest made the sign against evil. There was, but not born of flesh. She was the grief of the house, the sorrow that took form. "I don't understand." "She was not real," the priest said. Then softer, "But she was yours." That night, Yuan sat before the mirror once more. "I don't know what's real anymore," he whispered. The mirror showed no reflection, only the pavilion, as it had once been, filled with laughter, music, a girl in red embroidery. He leaned in, and the girl leaned out. His screams were never heard. The next morning, the pavilion doors were sealed once again. No one knew who had closed them. The estate was sold, then abandoned. Only the pavilion remained untouched, as always. Years later, a traveler seeking shelter found herself wandering the estate. She entered the Red Pavilion out of curiosity. Inside, everything was dust-covered, except a mirror. On it, written in breath, "Do you remember me now?" She turned to leave, but the door was gone.